Hey everybody, this is Dallas here doing a Let's Model today you guys are very fortunate that the house is quiet, so I'm able to actually record audio today and have my webcam up. So today is going to be real time. You guys are going to see and hear my perspective on why I'm doing certain things and kind of like a walkthrough, right? So if you guys have been following along, you're going to notice that I finished modeling the the Mech now, and it's on to UVing, which a lot of people, is even myself when I first started in 3D modeling, did not enjoy doing UVing very much, and it was mostly honestly the process that I didn't enjoy, and knowing tips and tricks and knowing little tools that will help make UVing a lot easier. So hopefully today you get to see me do this for about 28 to 20 to 30 minutes on UVing, and you get a very good idea of how this works. I have in the previous done um, videos on UVing, but hopefully maybe because this is a Mac, it's a little bit cooler. It's a prop in an environment. You guys will enjoy this a lot more. So so before usually I do my modeling, right, and before I even start UVing, I need to make sure I check that everything is nice and clean, right? So I'm looking at my outliner right now, and it's not really clean. It's pretty messy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to start deleting a bunch of things to help keep this clean. So there's a bunch of curves and stuff that I made to make certain shapes. At this point, I feel like there's no point of really me having these curves anymore, so I'm just going to clean them up. There's this empty group here. It's not needed, so I should just delete that. I should open these up. I don't know what most of these are, and if it's not going to affect anything, it's best to just delete it. Let me just drag this and just kill history and see if that fixes anything. No, not really. So I'm just gonna delete a bunch of these things. I should really be naming all these things. Like I should be naming this, Mech head, just to keep it nice and clean. I should be calling this, Mech front legs or something, right? Mech front leg, and I should probably call it the proper one. So this is its left leg. Left leg, and this one I'll call it Mech front right leg. Just keep things organized so that I know I can delete a bunch of things, right? So this one obviously has something in it, so that's probably going to be like the neck. It's got some weird things inside it, so I'm just gonna see if I can kill the history here. That didn't delete anything, so I'm just gonna edit, and I'm probably just gonna do ungroup or unparent. There we go. And I'm just gonna call this Mech neck, right? Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna turn off my my phone there so I don't get distracted. And let's see here. So that's its front leg. This is upper leg, I guess I'll call it. Front upper left leg, and I'll copy that, go over here. I know this isn't very fun. Let's 3D model for you guys, because it's a lot of cleanup right now, but this is really important, and it's honestly, like, I should have been doing this while I was modeling. I shouldn't be doing this at this point, but it's better late than never, I guess, right? Let's see here. So this would probably be Mech you call this? Ropes. Was it left? I don't know what else to call it, to be honest. They're like suspension bridge kind of style, right? So there we go. Just got a bunch of that. Okay, so we got the neck. Let's get the upper left upper leg. Leg? I guess this is kind of the leg. Let's say mech. Upper left leg. Wait, did I call this a leg too? I call this a leg as well, so this doesn't make any sense. Back leg, mech. Let's just call this left body. Let's do that, and then we'll call this right body. Right body and left body, right body. Okay, and this is gonna be back leg, mech, back left leg, and we'll do that for this one. Right leg. Okay, so now everything should be named, right? So any of these things. Okay, so this needs to be attached somewhere, so maybe we should attach what should we call this? Let's merge these two together, and let's call them back cylinders, back leg cylinders. So now we can just go through here and we can really see what we need. There's another one here, that's just the man scale. So I'm just going to call them that so I know. So we got a bunch of these. If I delete this and nothing changes, then we're good. This looks like a bunch of history. So if I just go in and let's see what's in here. Bunch of transforms. Just kill it. Nope, that didn't like that at all. So let's just go in here and let's just unparent, ungroup, edit, ungroup. So we got a bunch of transforms here. Let's go here, let's kill this, and there we go, that should get rid of it. Everything should be relatively clean now. You got the man scale. You got everything named the mech, so I know that everything's good. So now the scene is clean, right? Alright. So now on to some UVing. Let me just take a sip of my water here. Alright. So very first thing that I do is I obviously launch the Hypershade. Lambert 42. Wow, that's quite a bit of Lamberts. That's probably the scale, Lambert. Yeah, see, he's green now. So I'm just gonna give him Lambert 1. Oops, I just accidentally closed my Hypershade. So normally what I'll do here is, let me just bring this along. Usually I have a UV mapper, and this is something that I've UV mapper texture, right? I use this one once in a while. Nowadays I like to try and get at least 1024 texture size. Which other one do I use? Let's see here, UV texture, I think maybe. Yeah, so there's a bunch. I use this one. This one's usually my favorite. I used to use this one. And you can use any of these, to be honest, but my favorite's this one and these two. So just I like to use the grid because it kind of lets you know what's straight and things like that, right? So let's just do this. So usually let's see, in my Dropbox here, I should have it like right away in my Dropbox. I should have UV template, so I'll drop that in there. And what I'll do is let's start with the head. Let's start with the head, and okay, I gotta really. Now, normally I have two screens, right? So bear with me here. Usually I have two screens. I'll have one screen with the UV with this here, and then one screen where I get to see a bunch of where I get to see the model. So usually I'm looking like this, looking back and forth. But obviously when I'm recording, you guys need to see my screen. So here's my UV. My UVs. It's terrible, obviously. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in the UV texture, and there it is. Right? It's definitely not pretty. What I'm gonna quickly do is I'm going to go to my top view, and I am going to delete half of it because there's no point of me UVing the other half. Okay. Okay. Well, this kind of sucks. I have a cylinder here that's not cut in half. So what I need to do is I need to do that first before I do this. So I'm gonna cut this in half by selecting these two edge utilities, and that should cut it in half for me. Yep. Okay, so there we go. And as usual, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section, and I will get to you guys with the answer. Okay, feel free, and if you guys enjoy the channel, obviously press the subscribe button. So I'm gonna actually rotate this back 15 degrees, and the reason being is things are a lot easier to UV when they're straight, like at a right angle. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Alright, so we got this going. So obviously this is gonna be a little bit off, but whatever. So here we go. So we're gonna oh no, oh no, that did not just happen. Alright, well, that sucks. I hope I saved. I hope I saved. Oh no, that did not just happen on me. Oh no, did that just happen on me? That did not just happen on me. No. Let's see. Okay, at least everything. Okay, at least I saved relatively. Yeah. So, you know, lesson learned, right? Make sure you constantly save. I mean, I've obviously learned my lesson many times now, from working in the industry and, you know, power outages and just computer malfunctions and things like that, right? So, you know, this is again a really good example of just making sure that you save frequently your work, because sometimes you'll just get little errors like that. That's not a good sign. That usually means that my file is probably corrupt somewhere, so I need to be really careful. And it's funny because I just did a cleanup, right? So you would assume that you know, cleaning things up is going to, you know, it's gonna be less of an issue with crashing, but that's obviously not the case here. I actually bought a new hard drive because I've been having some hard drive issues. So okay, so I'm gonna save right here in case something crashes again. I believe that I did put that line in while I was talking there. Okay, so let's start this again. I'm going to cut this in half. Whoa, that didn't work at all. We'll cut this in half. Okay, what's going on here? Faces, and let's cut this in half. Okay, so now we got half of this head. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna save since this thing's been really haywire. I'm going to rotate this, just bring it back straight, right? I'm pretty sure this is straight. Let's go to, yeah, see, so 15 degrees, that's pretty straight. And I'm just going to freeze transformations just for the sake of freezing the transformations. I know that usually only rotate, certain angles unless I really need to not rotate 15 degrees. Okay, so let's get this started. There's no right or wrong place to start. To be honest, a lot of people always ask me like, how do you start? Usually, I take just the big piece and then I go with it, right? So this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna start with this here, and I'm gonna make sure camera-based selection is on, just so that when I go like this, it doesn't accidentally select other objects that I didn't want. Okay, and I have to make sure that wireframe and shaded is all turned off for this mode to work consistently in Maya 2011. I don't know why that is so, but it just is. So here we go. And alright, so I'm just going to take my UVs and planar UV this. It's going to be on the x-axis. Okay, so that's on the x-axis. And I'm going to change my perspective here to UV texture edit, so now it's half the screen. I'm also going to dim the texture in the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these to the side, right? I'm just going to move them to the side so that it clears out this middle part, because it can get really messy. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn on edge borders so I can see what's actually part of the seam here. I should really have my reference photo up as well to kind of see where I can put seams. So let's see, where can I put these seams? Let's see. So it looks like, I can have a seam at the front, but this and this top part probably shouldn't have a seam. So so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to sew this together. I don't know where this is, to be honest. So I'm going to sew that, leave that cut. I'm going to select that. I'm going to go to 2 shell, 2 UVs, 2 shell, 2 UVs. Move this into here, into view, right where I can see it. I'm going to unfold it. There we go. Look at that, baby. Looks nice and clean. So I'm just going to do that. I'm probably just going to rotate it, just so that it kind of fits in here a little bit more, so it's nice and clean. So there we go. And I usually will do my adjustment a little later. I might even, I'm also going to, should I attach it? You know what? No, I'm going to leave it the way it is for now. I'm actually going to attach this one, though, to this. So I'm just going to merge that. See where this is. Press the unfold tool. This unfold tool is just magic. It's magic, especially when you know how to use it. It is magical. It will help you so much in your 3D career. I don't use 3D Studio Max too often, so I don't know if 3D Studio Max has this unfold tool, but it should just be the make UVs easy button. But like I said, you have to understand how to use it though, because if you don't know how to use that tool, it's not going to work very well. That's my dog in the background. There's someone's home, which unfortunately means that I'm going to have to turn off my mic pretty soon, but then again, the video is already 20 minutes long, so okay, so I got the big piece done. I feel like the next big piece that I want to do is this one, just this area here. So I'm just going to get that done, over with. Right. So let's get that over with. That's on the Z-axis. I'm just going to cut that through the Z-axis. There we go. There it is, right? It's looking pretty. I'm going to unfold it quickly. I'm sure it's fine, but just never a bad thing to check, right? So there we go. And what I'm going to do, let's see. This is supposed to be like metal, right? It's supposed to be metal. So I'm thinking I am going. Okay, well let's get rid of this license plate thingy here. Let's UV this out of the way. Probably just going to sew this part together. Right, so right now it's linked together except from the corners, and this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. Magic's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna unfold. There you go. Okay, so now you have this, right? Pristine, baby, pristine. So I'm shrink this a bit because it's just a license plate. You're not gonna put too much detail into it. So you don't want to use up too much of your UV space. I mean, right now it's such an early stage anyways in your UVing that it doesn't really matter. But you know, you definitely want to think about that. Now let's see here. So we got pretty much the center spot. This part is like a bluish kind of area, so we can get this out of the way too. Can we delete that? No, we can't delete that side because you can see it from the back. So I'm going to do this in two parts. I think I'm going to do like this, and then I'm going to do the back. So for this, I mean, you know, you can take it into whichever axes you really want. Obviously not the X axes. You can take the Y or the Z. For me though, I like to just go create create UVs based on camera. Just because I'm lazy. But you could do anyway really, and there we go. And so from here, what you're gonna notice is that it's not very straight, so I just usually just straighten it out, just like that, right? And then I could just go like this, press a G to repeat, press G to repeat, and then there you go. And then you can just unfold it again to make sure that everything's in the right place. And again, it's a very small detail, so I'm making it a relatively small space there. And there you go. So now you have that UV'd. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna finish UVing this. And this one, like I said, it doesn't matter. Let's do one for example. Let's just do the y-axis here for you guys. Just an example that doesn't really matter because you're just gonna end up unfolding it anyways. I mean, you do get this really stretched out texture, and sometimes Maya doesn't like that, and when you unfold, it just pukes. But you know, here it worked out fine. I'm sure if you guys continue to watch my UVing section of this model, you're gonna watch and see that I'll hit a spot where it pukes on me, and then you're gonna see how I fix that. Okay, so there we go, and so we got kind of that almost done here. Now we just got this spot left. Now what I'm noticing right away, okay, that kind of scared me. I thought that this was a 5-sided poly, but it's 4. I was just gonna say that was really poor modeling on my part if I had left a 5-sided poly or an n-sided poly, whatever people want to call it nowadays. I call it the illegal polygon. Alright, so there we go. So I mean, it's not a very big section. It barely gets even any game time, right? Barely gets even any show time, so there's no point of putting too much detail. What I've also noticed is I see a lot of these polys here, and honestly I do not think it's gonna get seen. Like, let's see, that will get seen, okay. But these polys in here, this is where I start to find these polygons that aren't going to get any. See, so this one will, so I'll leave that. But these right here definitely won't get any showtime, so there's no point in me keeping them, so I'm going to delete them. I find that during my UV phase is where I'll notice a lot of UVs not being seen. A lot of people like to do this already during their modeling stage, but for me, the way that I do things, it seems to happen during this stage where I'll start to clean up the model a lot more because I'll start to notice a bunch of things that I've done. Okay, so let's get this pain in the butt section here out of the way, since I'm noticing that it's kind of like in here, you know. So I might as well finish this one off. Let's see. It's so we got this and that and this. So this is kind of like the steel, like it's like a gray kind of steel here. Let's see if I got everything. I feel like I got everything. I think I have everything. There's a little spot right there that might be missing. Yep, looks like I'm missing this and this. Yes, I think that's pretty much it. I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so from here, I mean, again, you know, this is kind of a weird shape, right? So I'm just gonna go from here, and I'm just gonna create UV space, and this is gonna be a really odd one. Unfolding might not actually do what we want. I'm also noticing that this didn't follow suit. So I obviously didn't click it, or I accidentally clicked it off, perhaps. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that again. Create based on UVs. So there we go. So now we have our seams where we want it, right? Where we want it. And let's unfold this and let's see if this monstrosity is gonna happen. Okay, well that actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, obviously this is distorted, right? It's not doesn't look as we want it to look. Like you can see like the grid lines, right? It's not straight. So at this point, usually the first thing I'll try is the smooth UV tool. So I'll click that. I'll click on unfold, and I'll try to unfold it. Obviously that didn't work out too well. So at this point, you have to make a couple decisions. For me, the very first thing that pops in my head is let's cut these up then. You know, let's cut these up. Let's break it up so that it's a little bit easier for the model to read. Right. So I'm just gonna cut this up like that. Okay. To make it easier for the model to read. So now if you unfold this, it's gonna be straighter, and it's gonna look nicer, like right away, right? You see that? Super nice, right? What that should do, that should relax these more, and now if you unfold it, it should be cleaner, but it's not. So if it's still not clean, then you know it's stubborn, right? So you gotta kind of think, you know, at what view are people going to see this? People probably aren't going to see this very much, like from behind here. People are going to probably see it mostly from this view and from this view. So you want those angles to look nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut these. Okay, so I'm going to cut this up here, and I'll try to unfold this. And if this doesn't work, let's see how this. And it's still not doing a very good job. So you know. And I'm noticing I'm getting a lot of really weird things going on here. Oh, well, that probably doesn't help. Let's delete that. That's kind of a weird. Yeah, that was really weird. See, I had some weird polygons there that I didn't even notice until now. Okay, well, delete that, and let's see if that still causes a bunch of. Because there's this weird vertice right here. And so I'm just gonna mesh delete edge / vertice. That should delete it. There we go. Okay, now let's see how this. Okay, so that doesn't change anything still, but that was really weird. And again, like I said to you before, this is the stage where I normally find these weird things. Okay, so I'm just actually gonna cut this, and that should pretty much end this issue that we had, because now we're gonna have nice straight boxed. Looking, right? See, so now everything is a lot more clean. You can see the numbers and the lines nice and clear. It's unfortunate we have to do it this way, but it is what it is sometimes, right? So if you want the best and cleanest looking UVs, this is how you gotta do it. So that's unfortunate, but what can you do? So I'm just gonna strain these out. Right, strain these out. And after I strain these out, it's pretty much my 30 minutes is up. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos, and if you guys are, like I said, press that subscribe button, comment below to let me know what you guys think, and this is supposed to be pretty interactive, so make it interactive, make it yours. Yeah, so let's just unfold this, and this is the back end of things, right? So it's looking a little bit weird, but if you strain it out, you're gonna see that it's pretty clean. And alright, so we're just gonna leave it at this point for now. I'm just gonna clear my history before I save, and hopefully I'll see you guys again in the next video, probably part 2 of UVing. And I'm gonna assume that this process is gonna take quite a while. There's probably gonna be at least 2 hours or 3 hours of just UVing this model, and then comes the fun part, which is texturing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you guys again soon.